Japan on the mat in the women's 48 kilogram division. Amy Kondo, 21 years of age, primed for Tokyo, that's for sure, but is the world number 3 and will be thinking about medals right here, right now. World champion at just 19 years of age in 2014 in this weight division, and a bronze medalist in 2015 in the world champs. So we know what she's capable of. She's in white, in blue. Edna Carrillo of Mexico won a World Cup event in Peru this year. So she has some form, but this is going to be very tough for her. That lady there, Amy Kondo, she can really move on the judo mat. So Mexico in blue, Japan in white. Amy Kondo, what's she got?
Well, she has great transition is what she has. And don't forget, before Pareto, she was the world champion. She was also junior world champion, and she has great transition. Watch this, because this is certainly not where the Mexican needs to be. It'll be transition. They have good feet as well, very, very good feet. And I'm talking about the Japanese style and the Japanese way of doing judo. It's very traditional. They'll use feet to set up the big techniques, but also they'll have the transition down onto the ground. A little bit of a clash of hands there, and I think the fingers went into her face.
She wore it well, right back at it. There's no doubt about that. When you participate in this sport, it takes a lot to break the focus. And she's working hard with the legs, Kondo. It is an interesting and aggressive and attacking style.
Well, of course, the only way to fight the Japanese, and I've fought them enough, is that you have to fight them hard. You have to make sure that you dominate the grip, and then you have to make sure that you attack first. Easier said than done. But now this is the situation. Have a look at this, because the leg is trapped there from Kondo, but the Japanese, 90% of the time, manage to get this leg out. So the referee will let this carry on for as long as it takes. Is that leg going to come out? She hasn't got the upper part of the body under control. Now she's going to change it. Now the leg's going to come out, and then it'll be the hold down. And she's in trouble here now. Certainly the Mexican just manages to catch that leg again. Kondo will keep at it. She won't let this go. She'll try and control the upper part of the body, and the referee in the end stands it up. Mexican did well. Wow,
what an intriguing battle that was, and so beautifully called. Just in passing, I like the way you mentioned how to compete against Japan. Of course, Neil Adams, the international voice of Taekwondo here, the 1981 world champion in the Netherlands, defeating the Japanese favourite he did back then. But anyway, we digress. That was great. That was a really great battle and a great insight into the sport. And when the referee lets it go, those tactics are just in your face.
Yeah, they're right there. And the whole point of it was, at one point in judo, it was becoming 70% standing and 30% ground, because they weren't letting people develop their groundwork skills. So now they've given it more time, and we have more time to develop groundwork skills and to develop a winning technique. So if Kondo goes down, the referee will allow her to develop the technique.
Okay, of course, there's 2 mats in play in the early stages of the judo. We're watching mat 2 here, the crowd getting involved at different times, and you wonder why it is. Don't get us wrong, they're very much enjoying this contest between the Mexican and Kondo of Japan. And Carrillo, she does look to be forever thinking of how to get away from something that's coming at her. That's fair to say, I think, but she's done well as we enter the second half of this match.
She's really done well here, because she hasn't incurred a penalty either. You're absolutely right. Kondo is the one that's pushing forwards, dominating, but she hasn't got a score on the board. And it's all about getting a score on the board. We need something up there, and one mistake could cost her the match here. And Kondo of Japan certainly not looking as sharp as we have seen her.
No, she's not, as she would talk about that CV of hers that includes the World Masters victory in Mexico this year. So she, as much as you can, would have expected that she would move through, let's say, comfortably in this contest, and that is not what we're seeing.
Well, she beat Menezes in that tournament as well, and beat her on the ground.
Menezes is the Brazilian favourite, or one of the favourites, and of course the defending gold medalist. But that's a long way from her mind at the moment. She's got to worry about the next 35 seconds.
You really have got to take each match as it comes. It's no good thinking, well, you know, when I get to the medal matches, you've got to think one match at a time, and each one is a gold medal match. Well, I would never have guessed this one. Carrillo of Mexico, just a Shido down, just one penalty down, and Kondo of Japan having a real hard job here.
She's really going for it though, isn't she? Even though that will get her over the line, the Shido against her opponent. As she's really working Kondo, I suppose as much as anything, if she's working, it helps the clock tick by, and she's probably managed to do that now.
Absolutely, and because she was progressive before, that's it, it's all finished, and that progression there now gets she'll score the ippon. She can hold her down now right the way through. She's already won the match.
So she's got a stranglehold. In fact, there's submission with the right hand there. You could see just tapping her opponent on the shoulder.
Yeah, there was only 2 seconds left on the clock, you see, so she could have just got up, she would have won the match, but actually she wanted to get the ippon.
I'll tell you what she did. She sent a message to her opponents to say, yeah, I might have gone the whole way there, but I am the whole deal too. Don't worry about that. Just asked to step back a moment. She's too keen to celebrate the Mexican who's performed so exceptionally well. Action aplenty here at the Carioca Arena as Judo 2016 well underway. And there's a lady there that we'll be seeing a lot of. She'll be involved in the medal matches, that's for sure. Kondo of Japan with the victory in the round of 16.
One thing's for sure, she'll have to do better than that for the gold medal, and she knows that. Here's what finally gets her the ippon there, just manages to take that leg out. That's what she was looking for before, but her throwing definitely a little bit off, and she'll have to get her coordination right and improve as she goes through this competition.
So